Clearcut. The president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, is accusing Special Counsel Robert Mueller's team of trying to frame the president. Giuliani making the comments at the Globe's Capital Market Conference in Tel Aviv.
They are a group of 13 highly partisan Democrats that make up the Mueller team, excluding him, are trying very, very hard to frame him, to get him in trouble when he hasn't done anything wrong. Now, they may not know they're doing it. They may not realize they're doing it, but they can't emotionally come to grips with the fact that this whole thing of Russian collusion didn't happen.
All right, let's bring in our senior Washington correspondent, Dan Raviv. Dan, what about the FBI director who launched the alleged Russia collusion investigation? There's some news now about James Comey. What's the latest?
Who, of course, was fired by President Trump 13 months ago. The Inspector General for the Justice Department is expected to publish within days a report on how the FBI handled the Hillary Clinton use of a personal email server investigation in 2016. Did the FBI do things that were wrong? Was James Comey biased? Did he make mistakes when he sometimes went public with parts of the investigation? Now, one of the findings that's leaked out is that James Comey was insubordinate. He wasn't listening to his bosses at the Department of Justice. Keep in mind that was Barack Obama's Department of Justice. One other headline, the then deputy director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, who was fired this year by President Trump, he's demanding immunity from prosecution before testifying to Congress about Hillary Clinton, Comey, and related matters. Michelle?
Yeah, some interesting developments there. Meanwhile, Dan, right now at the White House, Muslims are gathering. They're invited by President Trump for a special dinner. What are the details?
In that building you see behind me, it's really the first time that the president is hosting an iftar. That's the dinner that ends the day of fasting every day for Muslims during this month of Ramadan. Last year, the president chose not to have a dinner like that. Previous presidents had had an iftar dinner, but President Trump has issued statements wishing Muslims a blessed holiday. Now, are there Muslim Americans who are coming to this dinner? Several who have been protesting Trump administration policies, including the attempts to impose a travel ban, say there's no way they'd go. Well, they were not invited. According to the White House, up to 40 people will take part. The guests are foreign diplomats, basically from Muslim nations, ambassadors from friendly countries. Michelle?
All right, Dan, thank you so much. Dan Raviv. For more, let's bring in Tom Borelli. He's a contributor at the Conservative Review, and Robin Bureau, a Democratic strategist and former Obama campaign regional field director. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us. Tom, let's start here with you in studio. Giuliani suggesting that Mueller's team may not even recognize that it's biased against the president, that they're just so emotionally caught up with the notion that there was Russia collusion, that they're not handling this objectively. What do you think about that?
I think that's certainly possible. You have a lot of groupthink. As Mr. Giuliani mentioned, there are a bunch of Democrats. They're all prosecutors. What do prosecutors want to do? They want to prosecute. If they come away without a big prosecution, the $17 million that us taxpayers are paying, they would fail. So they have to dig, scratch, and do anything they can to come up with something. And I think that's why they're trying to set up President Trump with a perjury trap.
Robin, what do you think?
Oh, I think that's completely insane. You know, this has cost $16.7 million. And, you know, look at what we spent investigating Hillary Clinton. We spent $80 million investigating Hillary Clinton. It took 4 years. We spent $100 million investigating Bill Clinton. Hillary, we got 0 indictments for Hillary. And Bill Clinton was acquitted.
Be patient, Robin. Be patient.
Be patient,
Robin.
We've got 23 charges. And 5 people have already pleaded guilty. So don't tell me that there's nothing there.
There's no Russian collusion. Bob Mueller, where is the Russian? Stop the filibustering. Where, usually a nice guy, you want to go head-to-head, let's go. Where is the Russia collusion?
I'm all for it.
Where is it?
He's building a case. That's how he took down John Gotti.
$17 million. Building a case.
This has taken 14
We could have built the wall by the time.
Robin, you mentioned Hillary Clinton. You mentioned the Clintons. So let's move on to that. And we have the Inspector General investigation reportedly showing that Comey defied authorities several times during his investigation into the Clinton email server when he recommended against criminal charges and then publicly discussed the case. As we know, that's one of the many reasons that Hillary thinks she lost the election. What is your reaction to this report on Comey's actions here?
Was that to me?
That is to you.
Yes.
Robert.
Okay. So let's get to that. You know, he lost all credit. Comey lost all credibility with me the moment that he said that he reopened that investigation into Hillary Clinton 8 days before the election because he thought she would win. He lost every bit of credibility. And I love the fact that Republicans try and paint the FBI and DOJ as corrupt and against Donald Trump when clearly they were out to get Hillary Clinton. They didn't do her any favors with that. So I'd love to hear what the other panelist has to say about that.
Well, then, does Comey have credibility when it comes to the president then, Robin?
No.
All right.
No,
I think Tom and you are going to agree on that one.
Look, Comey is everything that we don't need in the United States, an overpowered bureaucrat who will do anything to keep his job. When it was his own career interests, he let Hillary Clinton off the hook. That is for sure. And then he panicked when he found out Hillary Clinton emails were found on Anthony Weeder's computer, and they got there through her assistant, Houmet Abedin. So he was panicked because, oh, my God, there really are these emails, and she really is grossly negligent. This is all going to come out very soon. I think the IG report is really going to indict a lot of people at the top of the FBI. You see Mr. McCabe, who's panicking, who lied, and he's seeking immunity.
What about
it may go that high, may even go into the White House. We shall see. I can't wait for this report to come out.
Robin, what do you think? Because this report also reprimanded the former Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, for that tarmac meeting, amongst other things. Do you think some action should be taken there?
I would love to look into this. You know, honestly, I was a Hillary delegate in the 2016 election, and I knew that that campaign was sunk the moment that Bill Clinton met with Loretta Lynch on that tarmac. That raised every bit of question to me. I don't like it one bit. And sure, let's investigate it. If there's something there, I think the American public deserves to know.
Agreed. Sounds very reasonable. Speaking of investigations, Tom, Paul Ryan thinks that there is no evidence to back up the president's claim that his operation was spied on by the FBI. Well, Ryan has never really been a Trump fan to begin with. And we know that there was an FBI informant. So is this because Ryan's planning on leaving and maybe positioning himself for something else?
I think that's part of it. Ryan was never a big fan of President Trump. Obviously, he's leaving a very powerful position, Speaker of the House. He's doing it on his own. So obviously, he's really not happy with the direction of where President Trump is bringing the country. But again, you know, I don't understand how you can't understand how you could have people who actually infiltrated the campaign. This guy was spying on at least 3 officials, and they deny it was spying. You know, they were some other word they come up with. I mean, this is just, it's just crazy.
Robin, we'll give you the final word here quickly on this one.
The FBI is our chief law enforcement agency. They were investigating foreign influence. They had every right to do that. They were doing their job. This is exactly how this is done. And I agree. You know, I think Paul Ryan finally, Paul Ryan finally grew a spine. So I'm glad to see that.
Well,
join the Republican Party with Ryan.
We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, Tom Borelli and Robin Bureau. Appreciate it from you both. Okay, still ahead, countdown to the summit final.